Let's get ready for Monday Mortgage Minute with your hosts, Tom McNamara and Bruce Woodburn.
Good
Love
morning,
that.
Bruce.
Boo.
Happy Halloween.
Hey, buddy.
How you
How's your
doing?
Monday morning coming?
Monday morning is my favorite day.
Yeah, it is. We get to do what we do all over again.
Absolutely,
Right. It's
absolutely.
funny.
So
People ask me, "Hey, what are you going to do on the weekend?" I get to work 2 more days. I got two more radio shows to do. Three, actually.
there
Two
you go.
Saturday, two Sunday. Hey, listen, I got to tell you something. The elephant in the room right now, and everybody's talking about it, are interest rates, right? Everybody knows interest rates are up right now.
Yeah,
And I think that the sentiment, the average person is making a major mistake by not purchasing in this market. So 9 out of 10 people that would like to buy just aren't buying right now
mhm,
because of rate. But you and I have been talking about this because when I see that happen, it means that if there's not enough buyers jumping in, then sellers are going, wait a minute, I need to sell this house. What do I
right.
do to sell the house? So, what are you seeing going on that is encouraging buyers or almost buyers just, it's the opportunity for the buyer right now?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of things going on. The first thing for me is obviously, price is price, and you can lower the price. And I think we've done a whole segment on this about prices versus concessions, right? But what I'm doing is I'm preparing my sellers when we go to market, right? That, hey, listen, I'm going to get you top dollar for your house. I'm going to get you, we're going to break records on price, or we're going to hit the top of the market. However, in order to be able to do that, you need to be prepared to give incentives to the buyer to buy the house. And,
So builders have been doing that for years. They've already got it. So now the sellers are picking up on that. So
absolutely.
what are you seeing typically that's acceptable in the market right now?
You know, Around 3% is pretty normal, right? Somewhere in that area, whether it's a little bit
So they're
above or a
still
little bit
getting
below.
97% of ask price.
Yeah, yeah.
So are the
I'll give you an example. I just sold, or I went under contract on a $300,000 listing, and
affordable housing?
yeah, and the buyer initially asked for 10 grand in closing cost credit, which is a little over 3%, like three
Yep.
point two or whatever. We negotiated it down to 8 grand, right? Not a huge thing, but got them an extra 2 grand, which is now I think a little like 2.7%. But everybody's happy, right? So and the buyer needed it. They weren't on any kind of special program, but they needed the closing cost credit in order to be able to close. They would
A
not
lot
have
of
been able to
people
close.
do right now.
Yeah,
Sellers need to realize just make it pretty for the buyer. The buyer's feeling the pain from the interest rate, so make it more attractive for them. So
yep.
seller paid closing costs. You and I have done episodes on this program for 2-1 buy downs. Very
Well,
popular again.
I'm
I
seeing I'm seeing people advertising that, right? So I'm seeing agents either putting it in the listing description or in the realtor remarks,
Mhm.
where it says something, it'll say something like seller motivated, seller willing to contribute to closing cost or rate buy down, and those are great conversation starters. And by the way, if you're a buyer, ask your agent to do this, or if you're an agent, start doing this. When you're doing an MLS search, you can actually search for keywords like buy down, like incentive, like motivated,
and
right?
even if it doesn't come up on the house you want, you can still negotiate it.
Of
You
course,
know,
but you can
you know,
find the ones that are pushing it, the ones that are already telling you, I'm willing to do this, right? And
right.
if that happens to be a great house for you, then that's a nice plus. Or you can say, hey, I'd buy your house, but this guy's offering me money, and I'm going to buy his house instead, and then maybe that gives you a little better leverage on negotiating.
And I'm really not seeing these sellers dropping their prices. They're
Not
they're
much, no.
they're keeping their prices and they're paying the incentives. I
Mhm.
mean, let's face it, you and I did even on a $450,000 purchase, if you got 3%, which is 13.5, and you just said to the seller, take 13.5 off the price, it reduced your cash to close by less than $1,000
Right.
and reduced your payment by less than $100. You
Right.
didn't really see much. But
No,
if you took 13.5 in closing costs, that's money out of pocket.
that's real money. Yeah.
And then if we blended it with a 2-1 buy down, you got like $3,300 in closing costs paid, and you got 2% lower in your first year's interest rate.
Right,
Like
right.
that's
And and we all know, I mean, we're all thinking, obviously, nobody knows anything for sure, but we're all pretty sure that interest rates in the next 24 months are going to drop some. We're never going to see 3% again. We should never
no,
see 3%
no.
again. I don't know if
I
anybody
listen,
thinks we should get there, they're
if we
crazy.
could hover a rate around 5.25,
Yep.
I mean, that's lower than the 40-year average. I think everybody's happy. Nobody wanted to hear 5.25 when they were 3, but you know, we got spoiled with that, and it's
We did.
probably never going to happen again.
No, no. So, hey, the other thing that I'm hearing or I'm seeing, right, is people rather than selling their house, they are borrowing against it, right? Whether they're doing, renovations or they're paying off other debts, right? Are you seeing a lot of home equity lines and
Tons of
things
it.
like that?
Tons of it. 30% of transactions that closed in the month of September in United States of America, this great country, 30% were cash out refinances, either
Cash
by
out.
home equity line or cash out refinance. They're both fall into the same category, Tom.
Okay.
Uh, but a lot of folks just don't qualify for home equity line. Like if your credit is marginal, you probably aren't going to get the home equity line. But that's the first place I go to see if the home equity line is viable. But you think about this. Let's just say you got a $2,000 a month mortgage payment because you got a 3% rate on your house, right?
Okay.
You're sitting on a ton of equity, but you got two $500 a month car payments and you got another $2,000 a month in credit card debt. You're paying 5 grand a month.
Right.
Refi it, even though the rate's going to be higher. Let's look at what the payment is by wiping out all debt. So, say we go to a $3,500 mortgage payment, but no other debt, cars, credit cards, nothing. Now, you take that $1,500 that you're saving, you put it on the mortgage. Now you got a 15-year mortgage and no debt. And people are seeing that right now because we got a little spoiled. We spent too much money. We got a little chubby during
Uh-huh.
COVID,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yep.
So
Time to go back to the gym.
now it's time to lean it out, baby. So don't be afraid of what the rate is. Let's determine what your rate of return is.
There you go. There you go. I guess, you would have to be disciplined in order to be able to do that, right? I mean, because your car is going to last you 4 to 7 years, right? So if you've consolidated those two car payments, you don't want to go out and buy another car on debt, right?
No,
Um,
no, everybody needs to realize that debt is the enemy of wealth. It's the
absolutely.
enemy. It's the
Absolutely.
enemy. If you have debt, you're gonna have struggle gaining wealth. And even if you make good money, it's hard to gain wealth by your income. Look at your assets in your 401k, your IRA. Only a few people do very, very well when it comes to managing their assets, but almost everybody comes out on top when it comes to real estate. I mean, how often do you see somebody come to you and they go, "Hey, I like that $600,000 house. By the way, I'm going to put down $300,000 from my savings account." "Oh, really? It's in your savings account. Where'd it come from?" "From the sale of my house over in New Jersey,
Right.
California."
Right.
I mean,
Mhm.
it came from the sale of a house. People can't save that much money as you can make the money from real estate. It's just the easiest way to amass money. And most people, honestly, and I'm just going to be honest, are not really good at managing money.
No,
Even
no, that's true.
my doctor clients that are making $1 million a year, they're horrible at managing money. Come to me, I'll help you. Trust the 10th grade dropout to help you on saving money and amassing wealth because I guarantee you I can show you how to do that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So
Yeah.
awesome, man. Well, hey, listen, it's time for me to get going for
You
the
got to
day.
get to work
Got
and
to get to work.
we will see you next week. Next week, we're in November, right?
That's right.
So, so we got a whole new month, and I'm looking forward to it. Boo hoo hoo to everybody out
Hey, man,
there.
Before
Don't
you
be
go,
afraid.
fun size or full size Snickers? Which one do you give out?
Fun size or full size stickers?
Snickers bars,
Oh,
man.
Snickers.
Which
Oh,
bars you giving out? King size?
you'd have to ask my wife that. I
All
don't have
right,
any
all right.
control
Because
over
I was
that.
going to drop by your house and trick or treat.
Well, you can because I'll be in my Bucky's outfit, my Bucky's costume. So you come on by and trick or
All right,
treat
I'll
me.
see you tomorrow.
Have a good one.
All right.